I'm Dominic with 91.7 KRTU Indie Overnight. Today, for the first of our live Skyline sessions, we have, all the way from Chicago, Paul Cherry.
Hey, thanks for having us. Let's do it. Swing your hips in the solar eclipse and watch this new day. Hey girl, move right across the country. And hey girl, don't listen to your mommy, 'cause I know that you wanna show the that you're moving out west, and hey girl, I'm really gonna miss you. This could be your comeback. No more tears to wipe back. Everyone's here. Everyone's waiting for you. Yours an open book, but you should know that this is your comeback. If you days it always cool and cloudy, and your friends are lacking in the rough and rowdy, turn it around, flip it upside down. This could be your comeback. Down about the state of the nation, or if you just can't seem to resist out that temptation, turn it around, flip it upside down. Turn it around, flip it upside down. Turn it around, flip it upside down. Everyone's here. everyone's here. And this could be your comeback. This will be the funk break. It's okay, you don't mind. You shut us in the bathroom mirror. Every boy can see it clearer. Won't you be mine? It could be so easy, wild and free. Burn me on my way home. We can do this far apart, separate and alone. It could be so easy. 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 One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. sounds stupid to me, and I run it back constantly. You sit at home and watch TV. I think about how you don't do anything, but it's not like I'm special or something. Write all my songs the hardest way. I'm thinking way too much about life today. Didn't get what I need for me to be. Would you blame me? I kinda feel free, but I don't feel like me. Alright, we're gonna do one more. Is that cool? This last one's called Your Letter. Hold on. I don't feel better. I got your letter, but I'm sending it back. How do you break the news like that? So I'm sending it back. I got your number, lay here and wonder why you won't hit me back. How are you gonna do me like that? So I won't hit you back. Oh, that's what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Why are you so what? You make a lot of sense. Your message, sit here depressed. I got your message and I'm sending one back. lake. My wife came up with a great big crick, so I'm sending it back. Oh, is this what you wanted? You got what you wanted. Why are you so whack? Give me a heart attack. Cool, I think that's it for us.
You would stay. Could you love me one more day, like yesterday? And I'm looking inside your brain to see your mind's already made from yesterday.
I'm Dominic Walsh with 91.7 KRTU in the studio with Paul Cherry, all the way from Chicago. So you just released an album, it's called Flavor. The last album you released was On Top in 2014. It's a bit of a different sound. In the promotional material for this album, I've seen some reference to your jazz roots. So before 2014, what were you doing? Because On Top definitely was not a jazz-influenced album. It didn't feel like it, at least.
Yeah, so I wrote that album in 2014 for fun, and then I didn't know that anyone was going to like my music, and then everybody liked it on SoundCloud, and I thought, like, I got a lot of plays that I didn't expect on SoundCloud, and I was like, damn, if I'm going to make another album, I want it to be really good, like really amazing. And so I just, instead of putting out another rock and roll record, I just went and learned all the chords, all the jazz chords, and like I went and dug kind of deeper inside of music than I had in music school. When I went to school for it, I like kind of missed out on some stuff. So I was like 21 when I made that On Top tape, and I was a junior in college. But then I waited 4 years until I finished this new album because I just wanted to get really good at recording and like songwriting and like knowing all my jazz chords and like knowing how the chords interact with the melodies. And it took a really long time to get good at each individual thing enough to make an album where all of it comes together. So that's why it took 4 years.
Okay, and what was the songwriting process like during those 4 years? Because one single you released in 2015, So Easy, is actually on this album, revamped a bit, but how many of the songs on Flavor were already written, or had you already started kind of the songwriting process for immediately after On Top?
After that On Top album, I wrote a whole other album and recorded it in a big studio, and I paid a lot of money, and the album came out horrible, and I really hated it. So that was like a whole year of the gap, was me making the follow-up album, and it being really bad. And I was like listening to it, and I was feeling like disassociated, and I was like, I was gonna release this album, and I was like, this sounds so dumb, like, I don't want to tour this, these songs aren't good. So then I just spent all the money and scrapped it and didn't do anything with it. And I realized that like I recorded a bad album because I didn't know how to talk to the engineer, because I didn't know what I was doing really. Kind of goes back to the same story as I just said, but yeah, like the songwriting process ended up like a bunch of bad songs that got scrapped, and then from the ashes of that project, I kind of like could hear my flaws and what I did wrong, and then I tried to change those songs into something I could do what I thought was right.
So how much semblance did that album that ended up getting scrapped bear to Flavor?
It almost sounds it doesn't even sound like the same genre.
Okay, but are some of the songs on there the same like song ideas that you originally had? Just
yeah,
changed?
like some little parts got taken from there, but really it was like a matter of why am I making like $1 million sounding record when I like listen to Ariel Pink all the time? you know, and I want to like make a mid-fi record, not a hi-fi record, and all that kind of stuff is playing into this as well. Like hearing an album that you made really crispy, but you listen to only lo-fi music, it's like, it feels weird, and you didn't know how you got to this point through that whole journey. And then you look back and you're like, oh man, I really messed up on my art. I gotta go do this again. But the songwriting process was like, honestly, me making YouTube playlists and then of just songs that I really liked. And then when I had free time, I would go and I would investigate that song, and I would like transcribe those chords, or I would learn that melody on the keyboard, and I would see on the keyboard how it would all work out. And I would just be like, oh, that's easy. And then from there, just transcribing my favorite songs, I would take those elements and then rework them into what I like.
Okay, and then some of those songs on those YouTube playlists, what type of artists were you listening to during this process?
I was listening to a lot of Carpenters, and I was listening to a lot of Ariel Pink, and I was listening to a lot of, obviously, Mild High Club. And yeah, the drummer on my record is all the same drummer as Mild High Club.
Oh, okay, because y'all both from Chicago, so is that where that connection came
we were
from?
roommates.
Oh, you and Alex Brand were roommates?
No,
the drummer. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, we recorded that album in my studio with him. It was just me, him, and my friend Andy on keys who kind of recorded that album, the Flavor album. And yeah, the songwriting process would be like, listening to Carpenters, listening to, what else was I listening to a lot? I got really into this 70s Japanese music stuff, like Happy End and Harumi Hosono and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was really big on that influence. The Japanese thing was like a really big time, like a lot of, while I was making that album, I was listening to Japanese 70s rock music, or like 70s, 80s jam, deep groove stuff, so it's like, yeah, it's all over the map, but it's all like stuff in the 70s and 80s is what influenced that album.
Okay, and then so for the recording process on Flavor, was it similar to either On Top or that album that you had worked on immediately after On Top?
No, it was kind of like I knew that I was kind of side-skirting a lot of the real stuff, like I was like not learning stuff because I thought it would be too hard. And then I'd just go learn it, like, oh, how do you record drums right? I don't really know. I'm gonna go and actually do it. So the On Top tape, I recorded in my bedroom in Bridgeport, which is like a south neighborhood in Chicago, just in my bedroom, bringing the amp into my bedroom, recording it kind of like a actual bedroom tape. And then from there, going through a couple failures and learning, I engineered and recorded the entire Flavor album myself.
Okay.
And then I had my friend mix it, but yeah, like I learned to record through like my failures and my past projects. So that's how the thing ended up. Just like, it was like all a journey to learn how to be good. And I don't know if I'm fully there yet, but I'm working on like getting good.
Okay, and then in addition to Flavor, there's another album in 2018 that's come out that you had something to do with, Anna Birch's Quit the Curse. Can you talk about how you met Anna Birch and how you got to working with her?
Yeah, so I've been kicking it in Chicago for 8 years, since 2010. And I actually grew up in Detroit area in Michigan. And
Where Anna Birch is from, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Anna Birch is in this band called Frontier Ruckus. That's like a folk rock band that I was really into when I was in high school, because they sing songs about Michigan and like it was really relatable. And I was like a really big fan of that band, and I moved to Chicago and I went to see them play, and she was there, but she wasn't playing in the band. And I was like, hey, what's up? You're the girl, aren't you on stage? And she ended up being back in that band for a while, but I became friends with her because she lived in Chicago, and so we just hung out every day. This is probably in like 2015. And then she was saying that she wanted to, record her songs. She had some songs, and I was like, I don't really know how to record, but we can try, And then I recorded her whole album in that same 4-year gap where I wasn't putting out music. I first year, wrote a whole album, scrapped it. Second year, worked on Anna's album the entire year. And then finished that by like 2016, middle of 2016. And then there was some overlap, but I was recording all of my album in like 2016. And then it was pretty much finished up in like February, March of 2017. So like a year ago, this album Flavor has been finished. and then it just went through the PR cycle for a year. So with Anna Birch, you know, I recorded that whole record and played all the guitar and bass. I think a couple tracks got re-recorded in Michigan, but you know, all the arrangements and stuff, that was me and her together. And we did that in the same studio apartment as like where I did Flavor. So it's interesting because those two albums sound a lot different, but they're recorded in the same space, both, you know, by me. And it was just really weird because her album kind of got shelved, and like she was just doing local shows in Michigan she moved back to Detroit doing local shows there. And then all of a sudden she texts me like, I got signed to Polyvinyl. And I'm like, whoa dude, that's crazy. So then, you know, as soon as I know, as my album's in the works of coming out, her album's coming out, and it's like, she's getting so much promo press, it's like super crazy that the only two albums that I worked on in my gap time are like both like seeing some success, or it's like, it's really trippy. So that's like the backstory on her is, you know, I just was hanging out with her, she wanted to record, I was down. And that was also a part of me learning to record. That album, that Anna Birch album, was the first album I ever recorded, like, besides my On Top tape, but like seriously, you know.
Okay, and then during that gap time, what were you doing in terms of live shows? Were you doing anything regionally or locally in Chicago?
The first time I played my new songs, this album live, was like around 2 Halloweens ago, and I played like a show opening up for Home Shake.
It's like in 2016?
In like late 2016,
Okay.
I played these songs in Chicago, just low key, and I had an opening show for Home Shake, and the crowd was like really into it, those songs, and I was like, whoa, like maybe the songs I've been working on are actually kind of like okay, like people actually might like them. And it was like really bizarre because I had no idea what anyone was gonna think. And then I had an opening slot for Mild High Club, and the same thing was like true, and the crowd was really into it. I was like, whoa, this is really weird. Like, I didn't think anyone would really ever like my music. So then, you know, just a couple local shows here and there. I play about one every season in Chicago because I've been waiting for this album to come out. It just came out, and I'm just gonna tour.
Right, and so since about a month ago, I guess, when you were on tour with Anna Birch, you all went down to South by, all over the place. Now you're on tour as Paul Cherry, and you're going on tour again in a month. What's it been like to go from playing mostly local shows to touring everywhere?
It's been exactly what I want to do. I like just want to do this. It means I have to like sell my car to make like $8,000 to live on for the rest of the year, you know, because I'm like, no job is gonna have me, and I'm like paying my 6-piece band. But it's really fun. It's super fun.
Okay, and then I guess just to wrap up, what are your future plans? Anything else in the work, recording wise?
So now that I feel like I've figured out how to record and how to like communicate that stuff, those artistic thoughts to somebody else, I'm going to go record my next album with this guy Ross in Kansas City, and he's in this band called Shy Boys, and actually Polyvinyl just signed them like 3 days ago or something, and they're amazing. They have a record coming out in like August. It's like my favorite record of any of my friends have made, I think. So I'm going to go, like, these guys in Kansas City, they all are in each other's bands. It's like this small bubble scene of these bands like Shy Boys, Full Bloods, and ACBs. And they all play in each other's bands, but each band sounds completely different, but it's all the same members with different frontmen. And I'm going to record with this guy Ross, and he makes those bands, like the production, sound incredible in this basement in Kansas City. And so I'm going to go record with him, and like we're gonna kind of do it together.
That's exciting. I'm Dominic with 91.7 KRTU, here with Paul Cherry.
Bye.
Cool, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for asking all those nice questions. Thanks for listening.
Cool.
Yeah, that was really insightful. Seriously. I mean, being a music student as well, like, I take a lot from that, man.
Cool.
That was great.
Yeah, dude, I was music school, and then I got out and I wasn't that good. I like graduated and I was like, I can't believe I got away with this. And then I just went and freaking practice this shit.
I feel like that's what school is about. It teaches you how to work on stuff.
Looking again, my lady. possibility.